What should I expect in my first session of mediation? That's a really great question. I'm glad that it came out. I mentioned at the outset that I'm a mediator. I think mediation is an amazing tool for families. Um, I hope some of the judges I appear in front of aren't watching, but honestly, family court is no place for families to be. It usually means that you can't come to agreements, you're warring. It usually means your children then are brought into the legal battle, often with a guardian ad litem or, in New York, an attorney for the child. And it just really kind of escalates the conflict. So I think handling your family matters and family disputes outside of court through mediation is a great option. In many states, you may be required to give mediation a try before you access the courts for custody, support, or divorce-related issues. And I think that's wonderful. In New York State, we don't have mandatory mediation. We have a preference for alternative dispute resolution being made an option for the parties, and making sure the parties are aware and have referrals if they're interested in alternative dispute resolution. Mediation is one of the most common forms of alternative dispute resolution. So the question was, what can you expect in your first mediation session? So to a certain extent, that may depend on whether you're going into mediation with or without attorneys being involved. So I'm going to assume, since this question was asked, that the questioner didn't have or doesn't have attorneys involved. So if you're going into mediation alone, which again is quite common and nothing to be concerned about, then you can expect that your mediator probably sends you some information ahead of time with some questions to answer to give the mediator a background about your situation and your family and your finances. And the mediator may have asked you to come with some suggested outcomes or resolutions. You want to think ahead of time about what it is in a range of options that you would find acceptable. Don't go into mediation with a hard and firm position on everything, because that's not what mediation is about. And try to go into mediation with realistic expectations. So if you wouldn't expect to get 100% of the marital assets in your divorce action, probably not realistic expectation to go into mediation and expect to walk out with 100% of the marital assets. But your mediator will set some ground rules. Those are ground rules of sort of good behavior and positive communications. So that makes mediation feel like you can count on it being a safe and neutral place. So there should be no name calling, no threats, no aggressive body language, things like that. And then the mediator will gather a little bit of information and will expect the parties to do most of the talking. Mediation really works best when the mediator is your facilitator and guide, and the parties are talking through options and trying to come up with solutions. So I hope that helps.